Namaste and welcome to Sri&Kira Explore the Mysteries. I am Sri Ramka.
And I am Kira Ra, and we are just so delighted to be with you on this extraordinary Saturday. You know, we are in the midst, and I know you can all feel it, of this very expansive Mercury retrograde. We have so much to share about that. We are already transiting into this extraordinary August experience. You can kind of see by the graphic hiding behind us, there's a lot coming that we're going to be talking about both today and tomorrow. And Sri, wow, it's a big moment.
It's a fantastic moment.
And where can people find us today?
Well, we are broadcasting live to YouTube, Oneness Talk Radio's channel over there. We're broadcasting live to Truth Frequency Radio. We're broadcasting live to Oneness Talk Radio, and also the video is streaming to Facebook, and it should be at the homepage of Oneness Talk Radio as well. So many options.
During our show Thursday night, Soul Mirrors, be amazed. It was an extraordinarily technically challenged night. And of course, remember, please call in. I see the call board's already filling up, but give us a buzz. 517-208-1500. Again, 517-208-1500. Of course, there's chat going on over at Oneness Talk Radio as well. And again, welcome. And Sri, I think before we go any further, there's just so much coming in. You know, not only do we have this very profound energy for the week coming up. This week coming up, guys, is a bridge unlike any other bridge. It's a real fascinating week, and we're going to talk a lot about that today, as is the month ahead. And the month ahead is still, it's like one of these energies where the month ahead is still almost day by day creating itself. So it's an extremely important moment. And I know that my heart is just so grateful that we are here together right now, whether you're catching us live or catching us in the archives. And also want to give a shout out to all of the affiliates that are carrying our show, including iHeartRadio. We love you. Thank you for being here with us today.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, let's get started today by talking a little bit about what we're going to be talking a little bit about.
Because there's so much. And so really just kind of like sink into this show. Just kind of sit back, relax if you can, breathe. And really, Sri, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. And so what I'm going to do is read from the e-card that we sent out to our subscriber list. And if you didn't get the e-card, then you're not on the list.
And why not?
Go
to Sri&Kira.com.
Yeah, we let you know what's going on. So Sri&Kira.com,
it's
join
free.
the newsletter.
Yeah.
Lots of good information and graphics and things that will keep you connected to that which is authentic and true for you.
Yeah.
So as we move forward, the August 2019 is upon us. And this show and tomorrow's show, we are referring to them as the Ascension Energy Updates, the predictions for August. And today it's the LineageHolder Ascension Energy Update for this final week of July into August.
You know, that made me want to, like, I just had to take a deep breath. You guys feel it, right?
Yeah.
You can feel what's going on. You can see what's coming in August. And there is just so much happening right now. So I'm just going to get my breath again, Sri. Thank you. Because that literally took my breath away.
Well, so here's what's coming up. Here's what we want to chat with you about today. Mercury goes stationary as the Vortal opens.
Now, I want you to just first feel that. So that's literally what's coming up in this coming week. So what does that mean? Now, first of all, I do need to give a bow and a shout out to all of you that have been with us in the participating in the Lineage Holders Mastery. I know that I'm certainly feeling what's happening, what's building, because we're going to be culminating that Tuesday the 30th. So I know that we are all feeling that. What's happened is since last Tuesday, and we're now going to go into this coming Tuesday. So it's almost like these weekly energy reports have kind of been like sliding, because remember, all time is fluid right now. I mean, more fluid than it has ever been, especially the higher you anchor in multiple dimensions. You'll start noticing, and with good reason, why this fluid time is such a blessing to really own and be with. So as we move into this week, the first thing that's going to happen is that it's kind of like literally right in the middle of the week. Think of the balancing act, right? Wasn't July all about a balancing energy, this ignition energy that was coming to help balance what's happening? And what the energy at the beginning of this month said was that by the end of July, you will know where you stand. And so what's extraordinarily important to recognize is that this is the week that Mercury is going to go stationary. And so this week, and we've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks, about how it's been getting harder and harder to stir the cement. That's because Mercury's almost done. It's almost cooked. And the minute it goes stationary, even though there will be a robust post-retrograde experience, and we will be with that energy into middle of August, but even though that's going to be there, it's the physical stationary experience of the third dimensional Mercury that will put that stick in the cement in its permanent position. So the question is, where do you want your stick? And is your stick a sword? And so really pay attention to that. Is it a staff? What is your stick? What have you been stirring with, and have you been unwinding? Remember, we've been talking about this the past couple of weeks. So this last week in July, as Sri started reading, the Vortal is going to open. Now, what's a Vortal? A Vortal is a very rare ignition. And we're going to be, as a matter of fact, we're going to be stabilizing and anchoring the Vortal experience this Tuesday with the lineage holders. That's going to be part of our final culminating, because Tuesday night is just journey. It's about really moving
you
through
don't
one
want to miss
another.
it, because we're going to be journeying in freedom from fear. We're going to be journeying further. And I just want to say, this is a beautiful culmination coming up this Tuesday.
Yeah, it really is. And so what's going to happen is a Vortal is an actual blending that can only happen when you're in multidimensional presence of a vortex and a portal. And the two literally become one. And many people on the planet right now have had no idea that they've been a part of this. But a lot of people have been experiencing nausea. I have been nauseous every day for 2 months. A lot of people have been experiencing lots of dizziness, lots of vertigo. Sri wound up in the hospital with it. There has been extreme sense of this swirling. Well, that's because this vortex portal energy is coming together kind of like a Venn diagram. So imagine that you've got these two beautiful energies that are coming together, and they've already met. And what's going to happen through this week is that portal is going to open, that space where the two come together. And that is a rare and extraordinary moment. And so this is why it is so important to know, because this final week of July is going to be that week of, let's just say it's going to be the week that will knock you on the head and go, okay, what do you now know?
Yeah.
And you will. And you will. And here's the other key. You might spend the end of the month going, I don't know anything. That means you know more than you've ever known before. Because it could mean that you're at the beginning of that next step of mastery.
Wow.
So it's an important moment. It's an important moment.
You know, so often I've seen with clients and certainly my own life, when we get into that space where we're really confused, it's a place where the mind is finally letting go.
Yes.
It's not patterning your perceptions and having answers to that which you're experiencing. It's the same with thinking you know nothing. The moment you think you know nothing, you're at the cusp of accessing all the wisdom there is, because that's when your egoic identity is getting out of the way.
Right.
And we realize the magnificence of the totality, and that mind can't wrap around that.
And see, that's what that cement stick has been all about. Have you been staring into the cement, trying to keep stirring something that you know is not going to keep stirring? Or have you been unwinding, commanding the light with your staff, your sword, your cane, your beam? You know, is it a stick in the cement, or is it an illuminated beam of light that is yours to command? Because by the end of this month, by the end of July, what's done is done, and you will know what's done. And so it is. It's time to stop keeping pretending, so to speak.
You know, with everything that is churning and being revealed, the retrograde energy of this month of July, which will continue to the 1st of August,
Mm-hmm.
is about also revealing and resolving that which is needing completion.
Right.
And so in the revelation and the resolving energy, you do know where you stand. You
Oh,
do
yeah.
see here's what's been up in my life. And it's not about judgment, it's about recognition. It comes up, it is witnessed, it is released and resolved.
Whoo, yeah, it is.
And hey,
I love
we've
it.
got more to share here
We
because
do because now that we know that the week ahead, and remember, it's very much this balancing point, right? Because July and August transit each other very much in that midweek energy, and so it's also very symbolic of really inviting us to be. And I, with all my heart and soul, Sri, I do need to just bow again before all of you that have been with us on the lineage holder journey, whether you've just been with us in spirit or you've been with us in form or you've been with us in any way. Thank you, because there are shifts happening and they're dramatic. And I don't think it's any accident that this Tuesday, the 30th, is going to turn out to have been such a important moment, you know, for humanity, for ourselves, for our mastery. And this again is why this week, as the entry into the August energy, is so important.
You know, anytime we get close to the summit, anytime we're nearing the end of a cycle, you kind of get the breath of what's coming a little bit. You know, it's say, hey, next phase.
Ooh.
And so in that process, it's important to understand how this final week of July coming into August is going to be affecting the greater co-created experience, the world at large.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that is going to be happening is that density.
Let's call it the little child of density, because it's really going to be that little. Remember, we put that little child in the back seat earlier this year. Remember that?
Yeah, if you've been following with us, you know that this egoic, tantrum demanding, egoic,
the 2-year-old
is really a very immature sense of self.
Yeah.
The inner child that is the egoic inner child that thinks it's got a handle on things really doesn't. But the more it shouts and the more attention it gets, the more its will seems to influence.
Well, you know, I love that you're bringing this up, because this week is going to be about that little child who is terrified. So what's going to happen is that fear is playing a huge role. As a matter of fact, Sri and I just had a profound ensoulment that came in around this fear. Part of it was recorded. We're going to be playing the video of that at the lineage holder session this coming Tuesday night, because fear is actually the fuel that is escalating this erosion of the where the fourth and the fifth dimension meet. And so this is why fear is being amplified. And so this week, that little child, that child of density, is going to throw a tantrum and learn that when you throw too many tantrums, nobody's listening anymore. And usually it's at the moment you really need them.
Yeah, so there's some dynamics here I want to explore. One of them is, so the egoic identity is always self-preoccupied, and that's why it's very childlike.
Oh, yes.
You know, the whole world revolves around me kind of energy. That's one thing to take note of. The other is that the third and the fourth dimension have collapsed upon each other. It's important to recognize that third dimensional reality for thousands of years was simply a limited playground for beings to incarnate and have the experience of form, have the experience of self-preoccupation and the consequence of their actions. And as that consequence began to be learned, it opened up the next layer of consciousness we call activism, spiritual activism, because that's when the egoic self began to realize there's other people here. There's a world here. You know, we need to care.
Yes, there is.
We need to care about them. And in that expansion of love and caring came the activistic identity. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is that when the fourth dimension begins to infiltrate those strata of consciousness, it's bringing into density and spiritual activism free-floating energies such as anxiety and anger, such as doubt, and such as whenever we have an emotional experience, our field opens up, and all these hitchhiking energies come in and say, "Let's make it bigger.
Oh yeah.
Let's make
Oh
it
yeah.
grander,"
For
because
sure.
the fourth dimensional energies are disincarnate, and if they can hang out with incarnate form, they feel magnified. So look at the synergy here. Third dimensional people are having more extreme experiences. The fourth dimensional energies are hitchhiking in and saying, "Go for it, make it bigger." And the two of them are feeding each other.
Thereby birthing the fear.
And the fear gets bigger.
Because the fear is like the rocket fuel. And this is important.
Yes, it's important, and it's also your good mind. Remember, the mind must be your servant if it's going to serve its highest purpose. So the mind needs to be educated, it needs to take note, and it needs to know when to stand down.
Well, and
let the soul lead.
Well, Sri, I have to say, more often than not, it's our not so good mind. Right? Usually the good mind is the one that's going, wait a minute, right? And we are at the moment where I'm really enjoying the way you're describing this, because we're also kind of jumping into some of what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, because the August energy is going to see the first time. I'm going to go, wait, I think I have to go this way. You see her? My beautiful Ma Kali. Right. Well, I can't. Woo! There's. You guys know what I mean, right?
There
I can't do it.
That's
okay. So anyway, as we come into August, there's a lot to share about this energy, and a lot about why it is so misunderstood, and what would be the magic phrase? Afraid of. Fear, right? And so it is such a huge August. There is just so much to share. Yet, knowing what's coming in August makes this week that much more salient, because this is the moment, holding into that energy through the very breath moment of striking midnight August 1, right? And transitioning into August, where we have that opportunity to really get it at a level that we have not seen it before. A moment to lift up into that fifth dimensional energy fully, without clinging to that fourth dimensional fear that is feeding the ego.
Yes.
And this is really an extraordinary moment. And this is why right here, this integrated is the energy of August. That is the potential of, ahead of us. However, you can see you got Kali over there.
She's riding in.
And she's riding in, and she's actually part of this energy, because the overarching energy of August is this ascended mother, and what it is to be the ascended mother. And Kali is actually riding in as this beautiful, gorgeous ascended mother presence. And so we are very, very excited about that. And so, Sri, why don't we start saying hi to some of our beautiful beloveds on the phone lines?
And when we're going to talk to some folks, and then we want to come back and talk a little more about some particularities on how to transit these times with the greatest amount of ease.
Absolutely. And I want to just give a shout out to Susan over in the chat room at Oneness Talk Radio. Yes, she was writing about beautiful Kali Ma, and we're going to be talking all about this tomorrow, that as fearsome as she may appear, she is the most compassionate goddess of them all, because she is the absolute epitome of the ascended mother, because the ascended mother does more than just hug you when you hurt. An ascended mother holds so much love and compassion for you that she, through her presence, will invite you to lift up into your own divine presence. So yes, thank you. And we have so much more to share about this tomorrow. It's going to be an exciting show, but today's already an exciting show.
Absolutely.
Now, Sri, I want to run right here. Let's go right here. We've got a couple of blocked anonymous calls that are just calling to us. So let's just begin with the first one.
Hi.
Namaste, blocked anonymous caller. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, namaste. Hi.
Namaste. Whoa. Sri&Kira, thank you so much. Your wisdom, your courage. Yes, I don't know where I am with it all, but I'm so glad I'm trying to hold on to your coattails.
Oh, Angel.
Could you please give me a mini soul reading?
I am honored, as is Shri, just to be in your presence. You know, as I was getting ready for today's show, I kept hearing, wear gold, wear gold. So I have all this like gold on and all these things, and even a gold ohm at my neck. And it's for you, because as I'm connecting with you right now, had I not been wearing all this gold, I don't know that I would have been able to actually feel the golden radiant transmission that you are emanating that had like this, I don't even know how to describe it, Angel. It was like a very, very thin, sometimes those leaves that look like paper, right? It looked like that. And so you've been like radiating back into yourself, but it's like you were unable to break free and really breathe and be yourself. And they're saying that our connection in this moment has created a force field of love that has come around you like a pyramid, that has released that papery thin energy. And I'm watching you, and your entire being is filling up this pyramid. And they're saying, sit in your pyramid, my queen. Remember who you are. And when you are ready, arise again. Open your eyes, take in your first breath of the true life, and get on with it. And so it is.
Much love, dear.
Oh. Namaste.
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 Thank you, my angel. Namaste. I'm out of breath. I just need a moment, guys. That was just too beautiful, and I'm really feeling the that dizziness coming in. This is that vortality that's coming in, guys. When we come together as community like this, when we start chatting together, this is why Sri and I started. Every Saturday is our weekly lineage holder update. And so every Saturday here at Explore the Mysteries, we explore the mysteries of the week ahead. It's a timely show. It's a show that's designed to be in real time with you. And what I find so beautiful, among many things about this show, is that when we come together, Sri and I, we never know where the show's going to go. But you guys have already called in this golden energy, and I really feel that's part of this lift. This energy of this culminating week is very much about that. You will know where you stand. That's an empowered piece of energy that is very golden.
Well, and the one thing that touches me right now, and literally every time we're together, is the love frequency, the connection.
Yes. Outrageous.
As one soul asks a question, and Kira opens up the Vortal, which is the new term, being in a vortex and a portal simultaneously, that outpouring helps ground us in our ascended hearts.
Yeah.
Now, ground is one of those words with quote marks around it, because this is a centering opportunity, an opportunity to center our beingness and our consciousness in ascended love.
Now, speaking of that, I really want to share with all of you that if you're saying, hey, tell me more about this Vortal, we will on the air next Thursday during Soul Mirrors Be Amazed right here at tfrlive.com. Thursday nights, 5 p.m. Pacific. Hey, guys, get on this show. Come check us out. And every week, I am very honored to have rotating co-hosts. And so if there's someone you'd like to suggest to be a co-host, please send me it. Let me know. Send it to guest@Sri&KiraRadio.com along with all of your other emails that you're sending to both Sri and I. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is we cannot say more about this Vortal energy than we are until we actually stabilize it and anchor it responsibly. And that's what's going to be happening Tuesday night in the culminating journey of the lineage holders. So for all of you that are with us that have already registered for that program, try to be there live.
Be there live would be really
exactly. And so we will be able to start talking about this publicly first time next Thursday during Soul Mirrors Be Amazed, and then of course right here next week on Explore the Mysteries. So Sri, I want to jump in and take another caller. Should we do that? All right, we've got another anonymous blocked caller. Namaste, anonymous blocked caller. Welcome.
Namaste. This is Ken calling you from Bali, dear Sri&Kira.
Oh, you sound like you're sitting right here next to me.
Welcome.
What a clear, beautiful connection. Thank you for bringing that Bali breeze and beauty to us today. Hail, we send it back from Ecuador.
Lineage holders, divine directors, Bali meeting Ecuador. I'm in an up-leveling like no other. I would love to have a mini soul reading.
Yes. Oh, thank you for the honor. Thank you for the honor.
Thank you.
You are welcome. My love, yes, up-leveling is a very accurate word. And it's funny, as you're sharing that, I'm getting this pressure right here at the top of my head, and it feels very wing-like. It's almost as if there's a pair of wings that are igniting from the hairline to like right at the top of star consciousness, and their wings. and they're literally it's like they have this, and again, all the gold. It's like there's a gold band that's holding these wings on, and they're saying that this is the moment when the divine energy of the upliftment must become one with the energy of the knowing presence within. And they're saying that as you, and I'm watching what feels like very much, I was going to say a serpiente, because we've been having all these serpientes here, but very much for you a naga with, but it's not, it's flames, like it's the naga face, but the body is very much like a rainbow of radiant beams of light, but there's violet all around it. All the other colors are in the middle, and I'm watching it go up, and it's like I'm watching it right now, and it's spinning, and then it's diving down. I can feel it diving down right into the crown chakra right now. And as I do, my heart feels like, how do I describe this? Like, it looks like a tortoise shell, but the tortoise shell is just like flying out, and out of this tortoise shell is like this warrior. And the tortoise shell has transmuted into this.
Gratitude and much love to both of you.
Many blessings.
Thank you, my
Many
angel.
blessings.
Namaste.
Thank
Namaste. Whew, I'm having a hard time breathing again.
Well, that was powerful.
Did you all receive that? I'm not even sure I remember what happened.
But I'll tell you what, and this is one of the beauties of having a recorded show.
Yes,
each one of
is
these,
that we get to look at it again.
Each one of these transmissions is a journey. Each one is a slice of a divine connection that will inform, illuminate, and uplift. And that was a powerful energy of that Naga energy. Yeah. Lifting, swirling, diving, and transmuting.
Well, lifting, swirling, diving is all part of the dance, is it not? And I think it would be, remember that this week ahead will invite us to start learning how we're dancing with Kali. Because it's not that Kali is rising, it's how we dance with her. Mm-hmm. And this is really important because I will share with all of you, Sri and I were chatting about this right before we got on the air today. There is a storm. And what is the storm? Sri and I have taught storm training for years. So if you take the acronym STORM, the storm is to actually see the oneness and reclaim mastery. So how powerfully perfect is it that August is arising with an opportunity through our core awareness, right? And our lineage holder experience, because remember, it's always awareness experience. August is bringing us to the choice of the storm. And what that means is that the storms are abundant, and they are everywhere, and they are all spiraling. And this is why all of this energy has come up. Yet it is how we dance with this Kali energy. Kali's coming in as kind of the beautiful goddess of the storms. And so when we see the oneness and reclaim our mastery and stay in the center, there is no storm. There is only the massive blessing of divine creation that lifts us ever higher, right? And so this is what's been happening, and it's an extraordinary moment ahead. And I do want to just give a quick shout out that for those of you that are watching us on YouTube right now, you are receiving our kind of what we call bonus time moment. And we will be coming in live again to TFR in about a minute. So at that point, we will just say hello again as we come back in at TFR. So I always love this moment. I do want to share that I'm watching the call board. So full. I'm seeing you ones who are jumping out. I promise you we're going to get to you in the second half of the show. I want to wait till we're live everywhere before we bring you guys back into the air. I'm going to jump over into the chat at Oneness Talk Radio and see if we can answer some chat. Okay. I feel like I'm in a 4D battle just now. I'm hoping this is my time to lift out of it. Yes. Mm-hmm. And I will share with you, my angels, that's getting more prevalent no matter how anchored you are in the fifth dimension. And that's because of this erosion in the upswell of fear. We're going to be talking a lot more about that in the specific August energy tomorrow. Today, we're talking more about the week ahead. But yeah, I'm not surprised, especially if you're committed, especially if you're really there with yourself, if you're really giving yourself the opportunity to be one with this energy. I'm also seeing here, yes, we can do it. Yeah, thank you. Anxious for lineage holders on Tuesday night, working on my Ikigai and generation research. Cool. And one of the things about any time we look at our Ikigai passion is that we sincerely do not need to do more research than maybe what our heart tells us. You might say, like, how do I know what my grandmother's vocation was? Well, maybe a hand to your heart. And feeling into her as you knew her might reveal what her true vocation was and might reveal a deeper sense of who you are. So congratulations. And my digestion system seems to have a mind of its own. Can't seem to keep up with demands and erratic behavior. This moment right now is probably a peak moment of that. And so it's also a good time when we start having those kinds of things happening. And again, I was addressing some of the chat issues over at Oneness Talk Radio. Sri was checking in at YouTube.
Yeah, I just want to acknowledge YouTubers.
Yeah.
Thank you for loving each other and talking to each other. And hey.
We want to say, hey, TFR Live, welcome back.
Welcome
we are
back.
so glad you are here. There is so much happening.
Excellent, excellent. We're all back together on one stream right now.
Woo-hoo! And we love it.
And I just want to acknowledge, finish up with the YouTube folks.
Please.
Some of you said the sound was a little low. We just made a little adjustment there. And
hopefully it's
bring your
better.
Ear closer. Right, it looks good on our end.
Yeah.
So thank you for being together. Thank you for helping each other stay focused on the positive that is emerging.
Yeah.
When we're in the center of the storm, there is a calm place. And all that swirling is outside of our calm center. That's the center of the cyclone.
Yes.
And we can enter the center of the cyclone by simply gazing at the divine, that is, dropping, releasing our attachment.
Yes.
The attachment to be right, the attachment to figure it out, the attachment to the drama, and just simply drop the polarity and see the oneness.
And reclaim mastery.
And from there we recharge.
Ooh, I like that even better. Recharge the mastery. Even better. I love it. And see, STORM. See the oneness. Recharge, reclaim mastery. That storm is an August, it's an experience of choice. Remember, we always go in these cycles of awareness, experience, choice. And what's been so extraordinary is that these storm cycles that have been happening this entire year, and as a matter of fact, Sri, I'm going to put up the graphic. So for those of you that are watching us on any of the stations, YouTube, Facebook, Oneness Talk Radio, if you're watching the video, you'll see the 2019 up there again. And if you're just listening, let me try and explain this to you. But if you guys are gazing at it, you see there was that first cycle within the cycle. Well, that was kind of the first stirring of the cement, right? And that was the first storm. And then you see that from July right now until December, we are now in creation as part of core acceleration. That's another big cycle. And what's happening is that second cycle within the cycle begins August 15th, only it's going to begin with this position fixed. And this is what we're talking about right now, that as that cement hardens, you're either unwinding into a fluid, beautiful, transcendent mastery moment. And you can even see that the year ahead, 2020, has very much the energy of a dragonfly. It's very much the year of mastery experience, whereas 2019 is the year of divine awareness. So knowing that those cycles are the way humanity evolves, 2019 was the year of divine awareness. We're still in it. 2020 ahead, the year of mastery experience, but 2021 is going to be the year of humanity's choice, and it's big. And so this is an extraordinary moment, and this is why I wanted to bring this back to you to look at and why this is so important. Bring a hand to your heart. So as we are talking about these storms, to see the oneness, reclaim our mastery, we have had this extraordinary, miraculous moment of grace. And this actually, in this linear world, had a linear component. It opened up May 22nd. It amplified through June 22nd. And then, because of the miracle rise of the lineage holders in June, it actually is now expanding, anchoring, and calling forward a successful mastery empowerment moment in July that will expand. It's going to be that drop in the water that is starting the ripple effect. Now, what does that mean? It means that more than ever, you are going to be invited to lift faster than maybe would have been kind. And I mean that with all of my heart, that the reason the ascension symptoms are escalating so much, the reason a lot of people are starting to have doctors tell them they have MS or other seventh chakra disorders. Sri, you can talk about that, because my husband, who is a master of ASA medical intuitive, these are all seventh chakra disorders, right?
So, the seventh chakra is your direct connection to the divine. Now, when the egoic self has been conditioned by dogma, by a strict religious upbringing, for example. That's not the only one, but that's an easy one to wrap around.
Right.
When we have those kinds of restricted beliefs, and part of us is noticing all this ascension energy, and the other part of us is going, no, no, no.
It cannot be.
Well, we're basically at war with God.
Right.
We're at war with the divine. We're saying,
Exactly.
I'm trying to control the divine flow. And that sets up a staccato energy, and that sets up the Parkinson's-like symptoms.
Exactly.
That sets up the MS-like systems, which is kind of a Morse code in the nervous system. And any sense of disorientation and disconnect is because of that profound fundamental conflict in the consciousness.
Where do you think Alzheimer's comes from?
It can be healed. I want to say that too.
Exactly. And so can other issues that are all, and Sri and I really debated this heavily, and we feel that we do need to jump in on this one because we feel it's just too important. And so if you want to hear more about what I'm going to say in the next moment, be with us tomorrow when we really kind of blow the lid on this one. In a 5G world, which is happening, and nothing you do will stop it, no matter how activistic you get, how angry you get, how polarized you get. Nothing will stop it except your mastery. You can be insulated from this. There are things you can really do, and Sri and I will talk all about this tomorrow. But why do you think these seventh chakra issues are coming in? Because if you are, and pretend with me for a minute if you need to, imagine that we are, do we have the witness graphic here, Sri? Can I show that to them or not? Do we have it?
Don't remember.
No, we don't. Okay, so remember, guys, that when we are in the third dimension, let me just go over this really quickly because you really do want to know what I'm sharing with you here. And then we're going to get to callers as well. When you're in the third dimension, you are a witness. This is what Tolle teaches, right? Great work, wonderful work. However, you will always loop in the same loop because you're just witnessing yourself in density to cope in density and lift up. Very few people can go beyond a lower fourth dimensional expansion that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. And until the fourth dimension collapsed, it was extraordinary. However, it now entraps more than it frees. And this is part of my beautiful Kali coming in right now, because what's happening is she's coming in because the truth is getting harder to hear. And let me share with you why. And it's going to be harder to access. Why do you think TFR has issues, right? Why do you think people like Sri and I, we have done everything in our power to reach as many people as possible, and all these wild things always happen? Well, together we are better. Together we can all prevent that from happening and have our greater voice. So with the advent of what has been co-created in the world of density right now, the density world is in the center of its own storm, right? Can we agree with that? So you see here in the middle, right here, you see this yin yang and both eyes are open? See, my angels, in the middle of that storm of density, just like in the middle of any other storm, they're having a great time. The world of density, what might seem like the backward trends or things of that nature, they're happy. They're getting their needs met. So they are in the center of their own storm, and they are totally unaware. Because when you lift from the third dimension into the fifth dimension, what opens? Compassion. This is where we first anchor compassion. And so if compassion, true empowered compassion, right? There's a difference between that and victim consciousness. But if you are truly in that moment of compassion and love, well, then what you're seeing is you have become the witnesser. And a witnesser, because their vision has expanded, opens up a heart of compassion and no longer feels anger, no longer feels happening right now. And this is what we've been talking about in lineage holders, and we'll give a lot more information there Tuesday night. When a compassionate fifth dimensional being is gazing into that joy-filled center of the third dimension. Remember, the third dimension is ecstatic. Even though within it looks horrific, in and of itself, look what it's doing. Talk about a co-creative, expansive moment. And so when you look down from the fifth dimension, what you're seeing, and what I see, and breaks my heart when I see it, is that there is this thick ring of, it's like a goopy, black, soupy goop that's around the third dimension, and it's getting harder and harder and harder to break free from it. And this is what happened because the fourth dimension collapsed. It was not there when Sri and I started out 17 years ago. It was not there. And because it's there is why we have all been invited to wake up and fulfill our missions and stop hanging out and not doing it, right? That's why you're listening to this show.
One thing to remember, it's not just about content.
No.
It's about context.
Exactly.
We are representing an energy. We are transmitting an energy, and we also dance with some words to help your mind understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And the fifth dimension has been available for many, many years.
Yes.
And when we first began teaching the path of self-ascension and begin to practice the yoga of self-ascension, this was back in 2003.
Yeah.
And here's what I know is true. The fifth dimensional frequency was a zone of clarity. It was
crystalline clarity, and it felt evasive for a lot of people.
Well, for some people say, "Oh, you're really detached."
But you know what? It was our very first series. Go read it. Archangel Zodkiel gives you step-by-step instructions to anchor in the fifth dimension, and I think if ever there was a time for that series, it is this minute.
We've had years to get accustomed, but we also had years to get complacent.
Right.
And we are at a time.
Very true.
We're at a time right now where it would be tragic not to harness your energies and move forward into your mastery, because that fifth dimensional energy, which was so peaceful and clear, is getting contaminated. And we're going to talk about that Tuesday night.
And we're going to talk a lot more about all of this tomorrow as well.
Yes. And so the seventh and the ninth dimensional frequencies, which 15 years ago seemed so far away, are right here.
They're
right
saying,
here.
And this is the key, guys. And then we're going to jump into the phone lines. Here's the key, and this is the week, right? And this is why the density ego self is going to start throwing a tantrum this week and realize that, wait a minute, I've thrown this tantrum so much nobody's listening anymore. And that's going to happen on a lot of levels, in a lot of different expressions worldwide, especially in the realm of density. This week is your opportunity to really anchor who you are, to let go of all of the illusionary aspects that seek to stop you, and to recognize that if this goopy layer between the third and fourth dimensions is fed by fear, then the density, which is having the greatest benefit, right? There's always a payoff. So how can that goopy layer remain? Because the density is loving it, because it's giving the density everything it wants.
It's energizing the positionalities.
Exactly. And this is why the truth is going to be so hard to hear. This is why there is a mainstream New Age. There is a mainstream ascension. And I hate to say it, it breaks my heart to say it, but my angels, they're being anchored and they're being bought. They are bought and paid for, even if they're not consciously aware of it. it's going to get harder and harder and harder to hear the truth, see the truth, feel the truth, because the more that you stay aligned with that density, even if you're on the fringe, especially if you're on the fringe, then the goopy stuff gets onto you even easier. You're going to feel worse. And so the only way through this is to lift, and the joy portal will get you through. And we're just with all of our heart and soul saying, if your heart resonates with this, then congratulations, because this is the moment to do it. And what's coming for you is so mind-blowing amazing, you'll wonder why you ever slowed down or ever would have stopped yourself. So it's just that kind of moment ahead.
Well, and we have mercy on people as they perhaps
forgive them.
Vacillate on the decision, because
that's where you get
freedom
tuffed.
At first is felt like a trap. Freedom at first is scary. And yet when we begin to really keep our eyes focused on the expansion, we discover that freedom is buoyancy. Freedom is spaciousness. Freedom is joy. Freedom is the flexibility that comes with the states of non-attachment. And yet we still get to participate. You don't lose anything.
Yeah.
Only thing you lose is the rigidity.
And here's the blessing, right? Because of what I'm describing, and I'm going to describe it a little more tomorrow, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You are all being asked to wake up. Those of you that are already at a level of mastery where you are very aware, where we know we're preaching the choir right now, then what are you doing about it? Mm-hmm. And this doesn't mean you have to go out and shout it on the rooftops. Hardly that. What we're saying is, are you living your life in your true mastery? I know as much as I thought I was, I obviously wasn't. I'm clear on that. And that's what July has brought me. And I am very aware. And there's a part of me that's embarrassed. And there's a part of me that says thank you. And I have claimed those pieces this month of July, because together we are better. The journey that I was individually asked to take, that Sri was individually asked to take, that we are still taking together, that we are all taking, that journey is a co-creative blessing. And that's what's in front of you right now. And the reason we're inviting you, that Sri and I are coming here and saying, we invite you to step into your mastery. If you were not with us for the journeys in June, please send us an email, support@selfascension.com. I apologize it's not up in the home study classroom yet. It will be. Take the journeys. This is really important for those of you that were with us and you took the journeys. Have you noticed? Now, what were those journeys? We jumped ahead and reclaimed a level of mastery from a parallel timeline in the future to be able to continue the journey here. Yeah. And tomorrow, not tomorrow night, Tuesday night, with the lineage holders, we are going to anchor something on in all of those dimensions at once that will be felt. And so what are you ready to claim? Because if you don't claim it now, what we can share with you, it's not that you never will. It's just that if there is a conspiracy, and we started talking about this a few weeks ago, that goopy black gel is going to make it harder and harder and harder for the beings in third dimension. And that goopy black gel doesn't care if it takes another 300 years to sit and solidify, but that goopy black gel is the next ring of cement. And the fact that this third dimensional stick of cement come August 1 is, it's in place, means that the only way you're going to be able to wake up is to be around those who are awake. And that's Lost Books of the Essene, Lesson 1. And so we're inviting all of you, take the easy route, because that's what's in front of us right now. We're actually at a moment where it's easier to do.
And if you say, yes, I want the easier route, what you are also saying is, my soul has traveled long enough and far enough that I can recognize the difference. Yeah. And if you go, no, I'm going to stick with my position, then you need to continue with your position until you're ready to release it.
And we're going to talk more about this tomorrow, but we want to invite you to just try this one on. If you're angry about 5G, then be really angry about it and get it out of your system now so that you're not affected by it. Yeah. The angrier you are, the more preoccupied you are, the easier you will be affected by it, and it's going to go after 7th chakra. The greater intention is to collapse back the 7th chakra, so that thereby popping through that thereby, it's basically, I mean, in some respects it's kind. It's basically saying just go back to sleep. Just go back to sleep, and you won't even remember what it is you're forgetting. And that's really, in some respects, it's a kindness.
Yeah.
And so I'm inviting you to have that dance now. And believe me, tomorrow's show, you're going to hear all about it.
And we're going to explore that further tomorrow.
So Sri, I am just being called right here.
Yep,
I think we need to go to, you called it, you too,
one,
right?
yeah,
All right, we're gonna start and go to Denver. Namaste, Denver, Colorado. Welcome. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, namaste.
Hello, Kira.
Hi.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Sending so much love, and I've got so many tears, and so many mixed feelings. Will you look, please, in the reading? What is the greatest gift that I can bring forward now for my family, for the planet?
Well, Angela, you took my breath away. and so the first thing I want to share with you is that as you were sharing that, I saw these beautiful arms, like some might call them the hands of God, whatever, but they came out from right around you, and they're covered in jewels, and they're wrapping them around you. And I'm watching these jewels. It's like you're standing there wearing this beautiful dress made of jewels, and there's this whispering that I'm hearing behind you that's saying, relax your mind and listen more. We will take care of your physical body. Now hear us. We have been around you for many, many days now, and we recognize that which is happening and the flow that you are seeking. Claim now the love within thee and apply it all to yourself. Allow this gift of 1,000,000 jewels to surround you. And as this 1,000,000 jeweled energy surrounds you, feel it radiate self-love into you now. Feel it in your feet, your ankles, your legs, your hips, your stomach, your chest, your elbows, your hands, your arms, your shoulders, your neck. Feel it everywhere. And as this love begins to fill you, begin to feel your spine relax and begin to feel the channels of your divine inspiration once more open and ignite. You ask for that, which is what you can bring now. It is this self-love that will stand you tall before them all, and you will open your hands and 1,000,000 jewels will fall out of them and light your way. And so it is.
Many blessings, dear.
Thank you.
Thank you, my love. Oh, my heart. Oh. Do you all feel that? I forget these pretty much as soon as they happen, and I will share with you that Sri and I have not consciously gone into me doing these ensouled mini readings on the air. We stopped doing this many years ago. But as long as they're telling us to do it, we're going to keep doing it. No matter how a mini soul reading comes out, it's always ensouled anyway. Yeah. It's just that the flavor of them seems to be really building as this month built. And I do want to say before I forget that we were all just told to receive this coat of 1,000,000 jewels. And it's like, if you're feeling anything within you, anything that feels like it's been perforated or needs healing, you might want to try that on for a minute. And Sri, wow, who's radiating to you? Is this one radiating to you right here? It seems to be Anonymous Day, which is kind of fun. Okay, hi, another anonymous caller. Namaste.
Okay.
Hi, Kira and Sri. They've unmuted me again, so take somebody else.
Okay. Wow, we will do that. And maybe we just needed to say hello. Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Namaste.
Hello,
all right.
I love you.
We love you. Wow. All right. Well, then, Sri, I've been feeling up here, Boise, Idaho. Let's say hi to Boise, Idaho. Namaste, Boise, Idaho.
Hi, this is your next week's co-host, I believe.
Is this Jerry, hey, yes.
This is.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so everybody, yes, I must just stop and say this is Jerry Habstrit of Light, Laughter, and Lattes, an amazing show over at Oneness Talk Radio. And yeah, my co-host coming up right here at TFR Live this coming Thursday at 5 p.m. Hey, Jerry. Well, no wonder your line was radiating in front of us.
Well, I'm hoping. I'm loving all the gold and all the jewels, and so I'm laughing about the question that I have to ask you.
Okay.
I'm working on a resolution with these businesses that I have, an LLC with my ex-husband, and I've had an offer, and I've kind of been going back and forth and taken action steps, and it's just sat there, and it's sitting there, and I'm not getting any response, and I'm getting closer to the end of resolution, and I'm getting a little nervous about what I need to do to resolve this, because I really need to resolve this.
Well, here's what they're saying. And I'm just going to share with you exactly what I was hearing. When you first said something about an offer, they were saying, oh, never take the first offer. And they were like joking with you, like be more lighthearted around this. Like let it have a little more levity around it. Let it be a little more like, oh, lightness. Like, oh, so if I take it, I take it. If I don't, I don't. And they're saying, now is the moment. They're saying within 4 days, this will be resolved, perfect balance. And they're saying that it isn't that, and I'm thinking it's Monday, that they must be meaning that there is some letter or official notification that needs to be like officially served. That is your one and only final counteroffer that also has some type of next action if that offer is not accepted. And they're saying within 4 days, this is resolved. And they're showing me you kind of dancing and giggling. So that's the energy that's around you, my love, and that is exactly what they said. And I don't normally offer things that specific, but that is exactly what they were telling me to say. And so I'm saying it, and there it is.
Okay, love it. Thank you so much.
Namaste. Thank you, my angel. We love you.
Many
Many
blessings.
blessings. Shri, do we have any more time? Can we take one more?
Well, we can. Have to be a little bit fast here.
Okay, it'll have to be a little bit fast. And so we're going to go right here. It looks like it's an unknown location, maybe Charles, not sure. Namaste. It might just be a quick flyby. Hello, we love you.
Hi.
Hi.
Sri&Kira?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Hi. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to make a soul reading. I just wanted to say thank you for everything, and you who are my spiritual mother, and I love you guys as an example for you guys are the most awesome couple. So, okay. Sorry.
Oh, honey, breathe. I just love that we're finishing the show with you today, because here's what they want to say around you. So I want you to breathe and relax. And they're saying you are a powerful Lakshmi lotus. And you're sitting on this lotus, and I'm seeing you very serene, and there's money pouring out of your hands. And they're saying that you are the queen. All you need do is bring your hands together and ask how you can serve, and the answer will be obvious. And that's what they want you to hear. That's what they want us all to hear as we culminate today's show. And Angel, you're a master. Thank you for getting through. I love that we had to bring you in. Many blessings, my honey. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Mwah.
And for
Mwah.
all of you listening, it's time to say goodbye for now. We
Wow.
love you. The hour that we have is complete.
Yes, and so tomorrow, noon Pacific time, part 2. And we are ready to be with you always. Namaste.
Namaste.